Vice Chair of the Libertarian National Committee, and you are watching LPTV. So today I'm filling in for Chairman Nick Sarwark, and today we're going to be focusing on one of my favorite topics, positivity, especially positivity in a dark time like it has been through 2020 with the COVID pandemic. I always like to say that one of the best ways for us to spread that liberty message, that message of individual empowerment, is through our example and through the community that we create. And today we have some members of the party from all across the country who are great examples of this, great examples of something that we even code in our platform plank 214 that says the proper and most effective source of help for the poor is the voluntary efforts of private groups and individuals. We believe members of society will become even more charitable and civil society will be strengthened as government reduces its activity on this realm. So let's meet these stalwart avatars of liberty, positivity, and kindness. We're going to start off with Mike Coletti and Theo from LP Nova, North Virginia.
Hey.
Welcome guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us on.
Okay. Awesome. No, thanks for everything you guys do. I'm very excited to have you guys on. Now, basically, you guys have been doing some GoFundMe. So tell us a little story about how this has been going.
Sure, of course. Well, when we heard first off about always looking for an opportunity to reach out, right? Just as you said in the beginning, it's one of the principles of being in the LP, libertarianism in general. So we saw that all this money was coming in, a blanket solution to a big problem. We really saw it as twofold, right? So a really good opportunity to help others, and at the same time, really showing that that whole aspect of volunteering, doing something a bit more valuable with what's provided than we'd imagine, right? So we really came up with these things, reached out to a couple of organizations that are doing a lot of good in our local community, and decided to set up a couple of GoFundMe to help them out. We're currently about halfway there, so doing quite well, and just really excited to be able to show those principles and help.
Got it. So tell me a little bit about these particular causes. I think you have like one that's going on in Arlington and another one that's targeting Fairfax.
Exactly, yeah. So there's two organizations that we're trying to help out with this. The one in Arlington is called Arlington Thrive. It's a same-day emergency relief fund. It really helps those in financial need due to any sort of crisis, right? So an illness or an unexpected unemployment. They really reach out to the areas that kind of get overlooked, especially in Arlington, Northern Virginia in general, being the type of area that it is. It's tough to see that we do have poverty, we do have issues that need to be addressed. So that's Arlington. And then Fairfax, it's a food drive, it's a food bank called Food for Others. They really highlight, especially on their website, they really highlight that as of the last census, there were over 70,000 people in Northern Virginia who are at this level of poverty. And so meaning that they need food. So we're trying to just reach out, help these orgs. They're really doing exactly what we're trying to show in the values of the LP.
Awesome. And then I know LP Nova, you guys are out there in North Virginia a lot. What are some other activities that have been going on recently with LP Nova?
So something else that we are doing community service wise, and community service is something that we're trying to do a lot of in LP Nova, focusing a lot on that for a community building, LP building kind of situation or type of a tool. We're also doing a lot of park and street adoption cleanups. We started off adopting a street out in Fairfax County, and as of last year, we have adopted a neighborhood park here in Arlington, and we go out every 2 or 3 months, at least before the whole coronavirus thing, and as a group, and clean, and not just clean up trash, but also improve the park. So we've been doing some demolition type of stuff to tear up old park benches, tear down an old fence, do a little bit of landscaping in preparation for a renovation of this neighborhood park. That sort of thing between the food drive fundraisers and the park adoption. I want to get us into all sorts of things. I mean, donating time and money for homeless shelters and soup kitchens and that sort of thing. So this type of community service will be going on for a long time in LP Nova, just beyond the whole coronavirus thing.
Got it. That's wonderful to hear. I mean, especially in today's world, there's never been a greater need for it. And you know, if there's anyone out there listening from Northern Virginia, what would you tell them? How can they get involved with LP Nova to help you guys with the GoFundMe, with all the other community service, with the party on the ground? How can they get involved?
So we're definitely a very social media focused group here. We do a lot of stuff through Facebook and Twitter. Through our Facebook, you can find us at the link there below, or just a simple search of Libertarian Party of Northern Virginia. Similarly on Twitter. And we broadcast, we post everything that we're doing, our events, our activities, results and news of what we've recently been doing and accomplishments, all through social media. So that is the best way, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter. We also do run an email newsletter, which we are in the process of getting on a regular weekly basis, getting that out there. So that's another good one to look for when you check us out.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Is there anything else that you'd like to say at this point?
Well, I mean, I think that libertarianism and private charity really is the solution to a lot of these problems. We see firsthand right now where this centralized top-down kind of bureaucracy is really messing up the response to the coronavirus pandemic. And so if we can sort of do the opposite of a ground up building, that I think is the first step to really proving to your non-political person, just your average Joe, what libertarianism is all about.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much, Theo and Mike Coletti from LP Nova. You guys keep doing the great work that you're doing. Okay, next up, we're going to have Andrew and Christy from Indiana. Okay, first, let's start off with Andrew. You've been doing some pretty interesting things in your local county. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on, Alex. It's a great opportunity to be here and share a little bit about what we're doing here. I live in a very rural part of Indiana, so we're an unaffiliated county here in our part of the state. And so I'm involved in a few organizations in our local community, and one of them is the Rotary Club of Brazil, Indiana. And I'm on the board with the Rotary Club, and through my connections with the Libertarian Party all across the state and at the national level, I found out about a very big need for blood drives and blood donations. I heard about it on a radio show, Now Hear This, that's hosted by one of our friends, and he had the Indiana Red Cross CEO on, and he was talking about the great need for blood donations, not just here in Indiana, but across the nation. So I kind of put that need and my community organizations that I'm involved with together and thought, how can I exemplify parts of the libertarian movement through other ways that I'm already involved in the community? Because we are an unaffiliated county, I really don't know many other libertarians in my area. So I thought, well, how can I step out, do something good for the community, partner with a couple other organizations, and maybe get a conversation going about what libertarianism is? And so, Alex, at the beginning, you were talking about, the voluntary effect of the individual, stepping out and doing something on their own to make the community better. And what a better way to do that than with a blood drive. There's nothing more individual than a blood drive, giving your own blood to an organization to help those in need. So what that interview on Now Hear This really made me realize was, with the COVID-19 crisis, you don't really think about the need for blood donations, but there's so many individuals across the country, whether it be, I have a really good friend who is on the transplant list, and so he's going to be needing some blood coming up for a transplant surgery. Folks like that who have serious life-threatening, or I guess serious surgeries coming up, and that need for blood is really there. So we hosted our blood drive a couple weeks ago. It took about 3 weeks to plan. Once we got it going and it was planned and all set in motion, we had great turnout. It was really easy to do and really fun to spread the libertarian values through partnering with other organizations.
That's awesome. And
my battery's dead. I'm still here.
It happens. But again, thank you so much for all that awesome work with the blood drive. Now, Christy, you've been doing some really interesting stuff as well. Something very generous. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Thanks, Alex. I really enjoy being on the show with you and everyone else. It's great to hear what libertarians are really doing, because a lot of times we hear, oh, what can libertarians do? You just want everybody to go out on the street and die. And that is far, far, far from the truth. So a couple of things that I've been doing is I took a portion of my stimulus check from Daddy Government. Thanks so much, Trump. And I donated it to Rupert's Kids. That's a charity funded by Rupert Bonham. You may know him from the TV show Survivor. But here in Indiana, we know him as our gubernatorial candidate from 2012. He's a great person. He likes to help people, and he was unable to host a big fundraiser that they have for the charity. So he can use as much help as he can get, and I'll do whatever I can for him. Another area that's been affected is, I knew that was going to happen.
Aw. It's okay.
Volunteer Mission, which is a local homeless shelter that's building a new building currently. And they also had a big gala coming up that got canceled because of because of COVID. Sorry, that dog is cracking me up. I just knew he was going to do that. So they went all online with their gala, having online auctions for different packages and things that were donated. There are even some Packers tickets for people that are into football. I put a bid on them because I'm one of those people that likes to put bids on things that nobody's bidding on just to get the price up. So all the time I'm like, I do not want to go to a Packers game. Somebody please outbid me. So luckily I was outbid, but I did end up donating other money to them. And the post office runs the Stamp Out Hunger every year around this time, and they were not able to do that. So I donated money to local food banks. And with said dog, I've been taking lots of walks. So I hit all of our local parks, and I donated some money to a local park too, to help out with flowers and sidewalks and good things like that. And I think the more that we do things like that, the more people will realize that libertarians really do have solutions for what's going on in the world.
Awesome. I 100% agree. But I'm sure there's going to be many people there on the feed wondering, what kind of dog do you have?
He's a little Chihuahua.
Aww.
He doesn't bite people, but he absolutely will bark at people that he sees outside. He's
It
still
happens.
going.
But yes, thank you so much for all that generosity. Again, I so appreciate you guys setting such a great example. Andrew, I know you had to leave us for a moment, but I wanted to check in on see if there was anything else you wanted to leave us off with as we move on.
There we go. If you're in an area that you might not know other libertarians, I highly suggest reaching out in the community and finding ways that you can get involved in other various community organizations, and you'll be very surprised to find out the support for libertarian ideas, and just open that conversation and open that door with other people. There's so many great opportunities out there for us to continue to give back to others in times of need like this. And what a better time to be a libertarian than now, because we really have a great opportunity to highlight some of our really, really great values that we stand for.
Awesome. You guys are amazing. So thank you so much. And, thank you. And then Indiana, you guys are well represented tonight, because now we just had Christine and Andrew from Indiana. Next, we're going to have Danny from Morgan County, Indiana next.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Now, basically, you've been doing some interesting stuff, helping connect people in the community to make things happen, to make people's lives better. Tell us a little bit about what you did recently.
Yeah, so as a county party, we actually did set a goal to do 3 volunteerism outreach events this year. So it was already kind of on our radar before COVID happened. for all the reasons you guys just talked about with Christy, is that, we need to kind of show people that you don't need the government. People will take care of people, and there's a better way to do these things. It is a very libertarian message. So when this whole thing happened, we were looking for a way to get involved, like how can we help? And we're fortunate to be from a community where everyone wanted to help. And actually members of the community kind of reached out to us and said, you know what, I got a bunch of extra fabric and some string and some elastic, and I'm going to make these masks and give them to you. And I know you guys will get them where they need to go. So I actually had a contact with the Morgan County Senior Advocates, and I called them first just because he's my cousin, and so I had the hookup, so to speak. And he said, yeah, that was a major need they had at their elderly care facilities here in Morgan County. A lot of the PPE equipment was going to hospitals and first responders and things like that, and so there was kind of a drain a little bit in that area. And so I just put out the call. We used our social media, friends. We talked to family. In the end, we really ended up collecting around 150 masks, homemade masks, with the pocket for the filters and all that stuff, so they can add a little something extra to them. And those all went out to some first responders, nursing, senior care facilities, all right here in Morgan County. So, yeah, all I really was a facilitator. The real heroes are the ones who are able to sew the masks, and, the people at the Morgan County Senior Advocate, who got all these masks out, and of course the people working at the nursing homes to keep the old folks, safe. Those are the real heroes. But that's just kind of what we did here. I think what I told you a little bit before the show, we kind of have a philosophy of you don't have to change the whole world, you just have to change your little slice of the world. And if everybody does their part to change that little slice, then the world becomes a better place. So that was kind of Morgan County's this is how we're helping, our little slice.
No, 100% agreed, and that is awesome. We can't downplay the contribution you guys made, because people can't take for granted the power that happens when people connect people with each other to make things happen. Some of the most amazing things in the world would never happen. Relationships would have never happened if people never got introduced to each other. All sorts of things would have never happened if people not. So thank you very much for that. And tell us a little bit more about what's going on in the Morgan County LP.
Right now, we're trying to figure out how to do outreach in a lot of different ways, not just politically, but also in ways like this. Another event that we usually have for volunteerism, our local Chamber of Commerce, is a cleanup day, where we all go, we show up, we put on our Libertarian t-shirts, we grab a bunch of trash bags, and we go literally pick up trash in the town. And thanks, Jerry. So that got canceled this year. So that's kind of on our radar too. I don't know if they're going to reschedule that, or, do we work with the Chamber of Commerce to get that done, or do we schedule one this year, later in the year when it's maybe a little safer and people are a little more comfortable going out and doing something like that. So, and then there's still one more, right? Our goal is to get 3. So we've got one more. If we manage to get the cleanup day done, then we still got another way we got to go out and help people. And I think setting those goals locally of just, it doesn't matter how big it is, just set a goal that we're going to do something to help our neighbors. It sets that example. And I think that's important. Voters, George R. R. Martin loves to say words are wind. I think libertarians have to walk that walk and show people that we're different. And I think that's really important. So no matter how big, how small, just take those steps and show people that we're different and we're here to help.
100% agreed, and I am always thrilled when people invoke George R. R. Martin. But but if you are so if you're listening and you're in Morgan County, Indiana, do get involved with the Morgan County LP and the Indiana LP in general at lpin.org. And this won't be the last time we get to hear from Indiana tonight. Hint, hint.
You can also contact Morgan County at Morgan LPIN on Twitter, Facebook, all the socials. That's where we are.
So again, that's Morgan LPIN over there on all the social medias. Okay, yep. So do check that out. Thanks. Okay, because I want to be keeping an eye out for that third outreach. But Google Home decided to talk to me. But thank you very much. Again, keep doing what you're doing. And next we have Derek from Houston.
Hi, close, Alex. It's Derek and Houston from.
Derek in Houston.
Yeah, from Rockingham County, North Carolina. Thanks for having us on tonight.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So yes. I'm Houston Barrow. I'm the chairman of the Libertarian Party of Rockingham County.
And I'm Derek Meadows 2019 candidate for city council in North Carolina.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on over there in Rockland County.
So one of our core values for the LP or Rock LP, as we call it, is community outreach, community service. You know, our main goal primarily is to help get local candidates elected. But if the community doesn't know how much you care, then they don't care how much you know when it comes to freedom. So we've got 3 projects we've been working on for the COVID-19. To begin with, we set up a meal for our local Rockingham County EMS workers. We had them catered by a local business to help them out because times are hard, obviously, for everybody. They were really excited and thankful. We got some good press on that from the city. They picked up the story, so we were really happy that it got such a good response. We also, when the COVID-19 outbreak first started, we made a couple of Google documents, and we had one for people that were in need and one for people that were willing to help. Basically, just a couple of things. People that volunteered to go do grocery pickups or pharmacy runs, and people that needed that sort of thing, people who needed dog food or food for their homes, baby wipes, and people that were willing to donate and help with that. We wish we would have had a better turnout for that. Some people didn't want to be affiliated with it because it was a political party, and I understand that. But we had a lot of individuals step up, and that's really what it's all about.
Got it. And as far as the Google Sheets, like how did you guys set that up? How would people sign up for them?
Right. So we had the 2 documents, and we just had a bunch of different people in our town share them on Facebook and email them to people. And then we were just the coordinators. So we got the information. We didn't share anybody's information or anything like that. And then we just helped match people that were most able to help people that were in need. Then we had them contact directly. So really, we were just helping with coordination.
Got it. Okay. And then you guys made like an anonymous donation?
Yeah, we had a member of the Rock LP that made a very generous donation, and I could talk on it, but we have a letter from the manager of the Ruby Tuesdays where he made the donation, and I think it speaks for itself. It says, "We had a very generous donation gifted to the entire staff of Ruby Tuesdays in Eden, North Carolina, at the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak and shutdown. A guest who wishes to remain anonymous from Rock LP gifted a substantial amount of money to help subsidize the loss of hourly wages and tips for all of our hourly staff members. I just wanted to personally reach out and thank you all for this. It helped them buy food, pay bills, etc. that they were stressing and worrying about. We had one server that was able to make her car payments so that it wouldn't get taken away. We had a host that just found out she was pregnant and was able to put it away for baby supplies. I know of 2 or more that were able to put food on their children's plates for weeks. Thanks to this wonderful donation, our team was able to stay afloat and stay positive. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without this gifted donation, I'm not sure what we would have done to get through the beginning of this mess. Thank you again." And signed by the manager of Ruby Tuesdays here in North Carolina.
That's amazing. That is certainly impact, and that touches my heart. But you guys have been doing stuff not just during this time, but beforehand. Tell us a little bit about some of the outreach you guys done before this time.
Sure, Alex. So like I said, community outreach is one of our core values. So we have adopted a highway here. It's right in front of the local school board building. It's a major highway, so there's always trash there. So quarterly we go out and pick up trash in front of the school board building. We also sponsored a couple of school cleanups over the past year. We co-sponsored one on Martin Luther King Day, where we get together with a couple of other local organizations and cleaned up school. We did some painting, updated the trophy case, and then
we had a cookout at our local park on the 4th of July that was open to the public. We didn't charge any money or anything. If you wanted to come by and eat a hamburger and a hot dog with us, you came on by. We had a tent set up with all of our libertarian information, and we actually made a few contacts on that day and brought a couple more people into the fold.
That's awesome. And then how are things? How's like sort of some of the challenges in outreach during this period of COVID-19, like far as making these connections, reaching out to people? Have there been sort of like barriers that you've run into along the way?
Certainly. I mean, I think everybody's dealing with the same thing right now. When you're not able to go out into the community as much and talk to people, our outreach has been limited to what we've already discussed. But I think overall, over the last couple of years since we've had our affiliate going, we've become good neighbors in our community. And, even if somebody can't tell you exactly what a libertarian is, they say, oh, those are good people. So, you got to win hearts and minds if you ever want to get people in office. And that's our primary goal. Derek, last year, he ran for the city council in Eaton. He had a great turnout. In 2018, I ran for the state house. I received almost 8% of the vote, which was the highest in the state of North Carolina during that run. So, every day it's just little steps, just trying to spread the message and touch more people.
Oh, that is amazing. Now, if you're listening to this broadcast right now and you're in North Carolina and you are not involved yet with the Libertarian Party of North Carolina, get involved with your local chapter. Okay, where can people find the Rockingham County LP?
You can check us out at facebook.com/Rock LPNC. You can follow me. It's at Houston Barrow on Twitter and Instagram. Getting plugged there.
You can follow my Facebook page, Derek Meadows for Liberty.
Yes, awesome. Thank you guys very much for coming on the show. Again, everyone, if you're in North Carolina, make sure to get involved with the North Carolina LP. And if you're in Indiana, get involved with Indiana. If you're in Virginia, get involved with North Virginia. Or if you're in any state, get involved. Help make amazing things happen. Make people's lives better, because that's what we're doing. We're not just trying to create political change, but we're creating a community that is an example of a world that can be, a world where we can be generous to each other, giving to each other. Not because anyone dictated it, but because we want to be good to each other. And that's, I think, a world that we all want. So this is why it's exciting to hear these stories, exciting to see these people doing amazing things across the country. Okay, so next we're going to be going back to a state that we know well now, Indiana, with Russell and Art.
Hello, all.
Hey, Russell and Art.
Greetings.
How you guys doing?
We're doing super. How have you been this evening?
I've been good. I'm feeling this is probably the best I felt in the last couple of weeks, hearing all these amazing stories, just filling my heart with joy. So I'm feeling great. So tell me a little bit about sort of the Liberty Pantry.
Okay, we're at the Libertarian Party of Clark County, Indiana. Last year, Art and I sat down, and we were talking about how community outreach and what we wanted to do, and the idea was floated to start a food pantry. And we've always been about, and it's been mentioned here earlier, that people don't care, they don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And we were looking for ways to offer libertarian solutions to the problems in our area, and also to allow us to live our libertarian principles out loud. And so we started the food pantry. It started off slow, of course, and but it's steadily grown over the last year or so. And we've even had times where we ran out of food. We had people showing up, and both times the libertarians in our area and in our state have responded overwhelmingly and refilled our shelves. And so I think what we're doing is we're proving to the world that libertarian ideals can succeed and can win. And not only that, is that it's preferable. The way we're doing things in the United States, the social programs and everything that we have, in my opinion, is killing the soul of the country. We've got stuck into a paradigm of, there's a program for that. So why don't we donate to the hungry kids in Appalachia? Well, because there's a program for that. But we'll open up our wallets for a hurricane in Haiti. So nobody can tell me that the American people are greedy people and won't take care of their own, because we're seeing it. and we're living it.
Awesome. And sort of what are ways that people who are watching this right now can help the Liberty Loves Food Pantry to keep growing and doing this amazing work?
First of all, he's downplaying his role in this. He's really not putting a lot of emphasis on what he does. He has gone out and made this thing start. I'm just a mule. I'll go out and get the donations and muscle stuff from people and go pick it up. He does all the organizing online and everything else. If I turn my cell phone on and it comes on, I celebrate. I'm not technical. He does all that work. All I do is put stuff in boxes. He organizes how we get it up and down. And it was all his idea to begin with. And what we need help from, and I always will beg. I'm not afraid to beg, because if I get peanut butter or oatmeal, it's going to a kid. And right now, we are a little low on donations because of the freak novel pandemic. We got more donations coming in. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure. I don't like asking for stuff, but anybody got any peanut butter?
There we go. You guys, peanut butter. Now, if people have peanut butter, where can they send it? Like, how can people reach out to you to get you peanut butter or any other thing that you can to help feed the community?
Best thing to do is to call this man. Give him your number.
502-644-8915. Text me, because I don't recognize your number. I think you want some money from me, and I'm broke.
Cool. And I guess, can you repeat that number one more time?
Yeah, 502-644-8915. My name is Art. And I always have it on, and no matter what you got, I'll come and get it.
And the party, the county party is also on Facebook, Clark County, Indiana, Libertarian. And, you can always get a hold of us there too.
And Liberty Loves Food Pantry on Facebook.
Got it. Okay, so Liberty Loves the Food Pantry on Facebook. Go like the Facebook page. Get them, make some donations, help them out. This is amazing stuff. And again, Clark County LP, if you're in that area, join the party, get involved. You get to see amazing things happen. You get to be involved in it, and that just feels good.
Because that's really the thing. Yeah, we're helping other people, but it really makes us feel good.
Exactly. It's yes, and it's a win-win. That's the beauty of volunteerism, of mutual beneficial activity. It just makes us feel good and makes everything around us good.
Right. Well, I have one more thing to it.
Russell
made a statement 2 years ago when we started this, that if your neighbor down the street is hungry, are you going to ask to see his checkbook or his water bill? You're just going to feed them. And that's what the Libertarian Party is about. In my full opinion, we don't ask you to clarify your need. You're a neighbor. You're in our communities. We're going to feed you.
I love that. That is can't articulate what you just made me feel. That is nice. Anything else you guys would like to tell everybody watching at home right now?
Vote Libertarian.
Yeah, vote Lib.
I love that.
Vote Libertarian.
Well, thank you, Art and Russell, for being on the show again. Clark County LP.
Thank you.
Thank you. Liberty Loves Food Pantry. Do check that out. And then next, we're going to have a good friend. We're going to have Chris Crawford from Massachusetts, former LP Massachusetts chair and current treasurer. How you doing?
Good.
So I have a lot of things I want to talk to you about. First, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about this makerspace.
Okay, so I joined a makerspace last fall for purely personal reasons. It's a really cool facility. They've got all kinds of machinery, and I rent a studio for my quilting operation. I've been a quilter for more than 30 years. And it was really nice to have a studio with buddies in the space. It's a big space. And so when the COVID hit Massachusetts, it hit pretty hard. We're number 3 in total death rate right now. And the nursing homes and extended care facilities, rehabs, had no PPE. They had no masks, they had no shields. So they reached out to our group and asked us to make whatever we could for them. They wanted face shields, cloth face masks, and plastic gowns. And so the makerspace got together, and at the time, one of our members said, "Let's have an assembly line." And I'm really a big fan of social distancing, because this virus is rampant, and I might have it. My husband's a doctor at a big Boston hospital, and so I took my machine home for the temporary time being, and I started sewing masks. And shortly after that, a call went out from another woman I'm associated with through sort of a repair cafe where people get together and fix stuff a couple of times a year in a Unitarian Universalist church, of course. And she had gotten a call from a big nursing home that needed 500 cloth face masks. So I started making masks for them and sort of roped in some other people. I also ongoing make quilts for cancer patients through my former church. And so I called some of those people, and this smaller group just sort of took off. And, Danny was talking previously about the problem of distributing. And, for a bunch of ladies who sew, the logistics of distribution, it can be challenging. But this second group I'm in is doing a really good job of that. We've made together about 5,000 cloth face masks. We've donated them to nursing homes, to the Visiting Nurse Association, to first responders in our local area, to the West Roxbury VA Hospital, to the Metro West Immigrant Solidarity Network to give to their families that they help. We even sent a bunch of masks to the Navajo Nation because through my brother-in-law in Albuquerque, I heard about their need. So it's a story of belonging. So I'm doing this individually as a libertarian. I am a libertarian, but I've joined these groups not as a libertarian, but just as a volunteer. But what you said earlier, civil society gets stronger as government backs off. Well, as government fails, I've had a bird's eye view of how civil society is stepping up. I don't know. Any questions you want to ask, I'll answer.
Yes. And then you got involved with like another group, which is the let's see, I got the name right here, the Repair. The Repair Cafe.
I mentioned that briefly. That's not a COVID thing, but the woman who runs that is the one who started this other group of mask makings. Yeah, so Mary Beth is our leader, and her garage is our sort of nexus where masks go to the garage. And so since I'm the one with a connection to the Navajo Nation, I was tasked with actually doing the shipping to them. And I went there on one of my ventures out into the world because I'm still sort of cowering in my home, as some libertarians like to call it. I don't want to get sick. It's really bad here. So anyway, I picked up the masks from Mary Beth's garage and I shipped them off to the Navajo Nation. So.
Awesome. And have you run into any sort of logistical challenge as trying to maneuver sort of, again, being safe in this environment, but still trying to get all these goods out there and helping the community and whatnot?
Well, I have to say, logistics is a very important function. And the makerspace was very well organized to deliver the PPEs to the rehab facility that we were helping. But then, it just sort of went into the weeds with the mask distribution. And I'm really glad I found this other group because, I'm not making masks through Makerspace anymore. We fulfilled our order and that's done. But this other group sort of has become my source of voluntary donation.
Got it. Okay. And then I just wanted to kind of revisit the Repair Cafe for a second because I just found the concept of it kind of interesting.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
we
idea-
can talk about
yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
So people go a couple of times a year, and it's announced well beforehand. And we've got guys who can do electronics. We've got a bunch of people who sew, and it's completely gender segregated. All the people who sew are female, and all the people who do electronics are male. Then we've got a knife sharpener. We've got guys who glue stuff, and guys who fix electrical things like lamps, and knitters. And so people who have something broken, bring it in. And, these are things that, it's not really worthwhile taking it to the tailor, and paying him $20, but, they bring it in and I can sew it up, and I've had my knife sharpened, and it's a really, really cool thing. And, I would recommend any libertarian or anyone watching this, get out into the community and find out what these churches are doing, because I can tell you in my area, and maybe it's unique to my area, but I don't belong to my church anymore. They were lockstep left wing, and I couldn't stand it anymore. So I don't go to the services because I don't want to hear about Che Guevara and how great he was. So, but I still go to their making quilts for cancer patients, knitting blankets for premature babies, their thrift shop that collects money and then donates it to African girls who are trying to get an education. I volunteer for the Metro West Immigrant Solidarity Network, and they're all lefties here in Massachusetts, but I speak Spanish, so I can accompany immigrants to their doctor's appointments. And actually, the Immigrant Solidarity Network needed 900 masks for the people, because now they're feeding like 200 or 300 families every 2 weeks. They have a food distribution because these people have lost their jobs because of COVID, but many of them are undocumented and they can't get any kind of relief or anything. So, I actually connected the Immigrant Solidarity Network with the Mary Beth and her masks. So, I didn't I made about 30 masks for the 900, but they got their 900.
Got it. And then you mentioned that the church you were involved with, that they do all these events on a regular basis, as far as like charitable events. Have they still been able to kind of maintain that schedule events in this environment, or has that the nature of that changed in a different way?
Oh yes. Well, I got to tell you, that church closed down way early, which was good because we had this super spreader event, and one of the ladies that I knit with got COVID from her son, who got it at his high school, who got it from his classmate, who got it from his mom, who worked at Biogen. So, this woman didn't get it that bad. The boy got it really bad, but she didn't get it that bad. She may not have known she had it. And, our church is filled with that church, the old church, right? Not mine anymore, but it's filled with elderly people. So we closed, man. But the knitting, now, instead of meeting once a month in person, we meet once a week on Zoom. And, everybody's knitting away and making their blankets for the preemies, I'm making this.
Oh, very nice. Awesome. And then how is that? So, because I mean, one of those things about like churches and whatnot, they do bring a lot of community to the areas that they're in. So now that a lot of that community has shifted over to Zoom, do you feel that it's improved it, or do you miss sort of the physical aspect of it?
So the thrift shop is closed, and that's a real bad thing. That's a real sad thing. They're also meeting on the Zoom, but that thrift shop was sort of a once a week kind of thing that it's a loss, a temporary loss to the community. However, that same church is very much involved with the Metro West Immigrant Solidarity Network, and that is really ramped up its efforts. They're raising more money. They're helping people with their material needs now directly. there's not so much court dates have been canceled and things like that. So there's not so much opportunity to accompany, but that has really, and a lot of the church people are involved with that.
Got it. And now shifting gears to LP Massachusetts, how are things with LP Massachusetts during this time, as far as the activities that LPMA has been able to be involved with and whatnot?
So, we decided long ago to stop meeting in person and have been meeting on Zoom. We're doing politics. So right now in Massachusetts, there's a huge petition drive to implement ranked choice voting, and it has moved online. So the LP is involved in that. We're meeting online. We're just doing our normal LP stuff, but we're doing it through Zoom. We made a statement objecting to forcible lockdowns and have promoted that on the internet. We've publicized the ranked choice voting and sent out an email to all our members to go to the link and sign the petition online. That's going really well, actually, but that's not. We're involved in that as a supporting group. And right now, I guess like all the other state affiliates, we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this convention.
Yes. Now, if you're in Massachusetts, so for everyone who's watching, if you're in Massachusetts, do get involved in the Libertarian Party of Massachusetts if you're not already involved. As you can hear, they're doing great things. They're still meeting in a socially distant, safe way, so you can still be.
We always socially distance. We're like
that. Fair enough. But yes, but it's amazing things, and again, all the stuff that you're doing right now is amazing, and it's heartwarming, and I love hearing it. So thank you for doing all that. But again, everybody who's watching, the reason why it's amazing to hear these stories, because it's not just about that they happen, but again, it sets an example, because how you do things, it's not just about doing things, but how you do things sets an example for how people will do things in the future. So if you do things in a kind way, other people will do things in a kind way. If you win by being just and righteous, other people will try to win by being just and righteous and integrity and all that stuff. So it's all about the example that you set. And again, the community that we build, because the community we have here in the LP, that's the community that when people get involved, makes them decide that they want to stay, that they want to continue to be involved, to continue sort of being inspired by these ideas. So everyone who's on the show today, it's a huge, I can't articulate how important it is what you guys are doing. So thank you so much. And hey, everyone's joining us. So let's just give everybody a round of applause. You guys can take me off the screen to make sure that everybody fits. So we give everyone who's watching, just give these people a round of applause. Right now, you guys can only hear me clapping, but I imagine all the people at home are clapping as well. Okay. Yes. And but let's just let everybody have a chance to kind of like reiterate like where people can check out what you're doing. So Chris, will you start off? Just kind of what websites can people check out to get involved with LPMA, check out makerspace, or any of these things that you'd like people to know about? And then we'll just kind of go down and let everybody kind of reacquaint with those URLs so people can get involved.
All right, lpmass.org. That's our website, lpmass.org. And if you're interested in the makerspace, it's the Framingham Makerspace, if you're local. FraminghamMakerspace.org.
Just reiterate like where people can check out what you're doing. So Chris, will you start off? Okay. I guess Danny next.
I'm in great company here. The work these people are doing is amazing, and I'm blown away by it and inspired by it, and I hope everyone else is too. Hey, Russell, you guys down in Clark County, first of all, I love those guys. I mean, we're in the same district and everything. Do you guys have an address where folks at home can go on Amazon and like send you food? Is that a thing? You ask for peanut butter, tell them how to send you peanut butter.
Russell, Art?
Yeah, Liberty Loves Food Pantry on Facebook, and Clark County, Indiana Libertarian Party on Facebook is where you will find us.
But is there an address that people can ship food to?
Oh, what's the address?
All right, it's a state secret. 2304 Rain Tree, like rain and tree, one word, Drive, Clarksville, Indiana, 47129. Address is to Arthur Richings. Last name is RRTCHINGS. Or anything close. My postman knows me.
Got it.
And
Awesome.
I'm
So again,
very grateful.
yes, and please do, because again, it's going to a good cause. You're helping people, and they're awesome. Okay, next, let's go to Mike.
Yeah, so put the website back on there, just LP Nova. We're on Facebook, Twitter. We're on all of that. Take a look at the fundraisers we have them posted up on our page as well to be able to donate and really just help out with what we're trying to do here, what everyone else is trying to do here. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's do Derek in Houston, and then we'll do Andrew.
Once again, it's facebook.com/RockLPNC if you want to check out our county affiliate. Also, we encourage everybody to go check out the Libertarian Party of North Carolina page at Houston Barrow, Twitter, Instagram, Derek Meadows for Liberty on Facebook. So that's everything, guys. Thanks for having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Andrew?
Well, great. Thanks for having me on again. It was really cool to see so many Hoosiers on the broadcast tonight. I got to meet several of them. I attended my first Indiana Libertarian Party convention this last March, so I got to meet most of you guys there. Again, here in Indiana, if you're looking for a way to get involved and you don't quite know many Libertarians around in your area, I highly suggest check out the LPIN website. We have a really good Facebook group as well, active community on there. And then also the way I found out about our blood drive that we ended up hosting was through the Now Hear This with Chris Spangle. I linked that earlier. You can find that nowhearthisindy.com or the more specific link right there. Chris interviews so many people in the Indian area, but I'm sure there's organizations all over the country that are mimicking everything that they're trying to do to help better their communities. So if you're like me in an unaffiliated county and you're looking for ways that you can exemplify those libertarian principles, start local like that with trying to find ways to partner with other organizations. Again, thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, and again, thank you everybody for being on the show. And it's what you guys are doing. It's important, and just sort of some closing words. Politics can be filled with lots of ups and downs, days that are harder than easier and easier than harder. But at the end of the day, what matters, the reason why all of us get involved in this space is because we care about the impact that the world around us has on the people that we care about, on our own lives, etc. And to see us setting that example about making positive impact on the people around us, one is such a powerful example of the message of the Libertarian Party, a world where basically we have an individual peace between each other, a willingness to choose to be good, a willingness to choose to be better, and to set that example. That is an amazing thing. It kind of reminds me why I'm involved, and why I'm in love with the Libertarian Party, and why I love hearing from all my fellow Libertarians doing amazing things. So everyone who's watching, please take these examples to heart. Let them inspire you to do great things. And again, let them remind you why we're all part of this, and why we're going to continue to be part of this to make amazing things happen, to create real transformative change and have real impact on people's lives. My name is Alex Merced. Again, I am the vice chair of the Libertarian National Committee. So we're going to be wrapping up this episode of LPTV. Again, I'm filling in for Chairman Nick Sarwark this week. And again, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you to all the guests who participated this week. You guys have all touched my heart 1,000 times over, and it's deeply appreciated. You guys have a great night. Till next time.